What if I told you that starting tonight, nobody on Earth ever had to sleep again? I mean, no more beds, no more alarms, no more of those mandatory 8-hour breaks. It sounds pretty amazing, right? Like the ultimate life hack? But what if that dream turned into a global nightmare? All right, let's really get into this. Because at first glance, getting rid of sleep feels like it would be the single greatest upgrade our species could ever hope for. I mean, just stop and think about it for a second. An extra 8 hours every single day for the rest of your life. What would you even do with all that time? On the one hand, you've got our world as it is right now, totally built around the need for rest. But on the other hand, you've got this vision of a nonstop 24/7 world, industries that never power down, cities that are always alive. It's a really, really tempting idea. But this is where the fantasy runs headfirst into a brick wall called biology. To really understand what a world without sleep would look like, we first have to get why we need it so badly in the first place. See, sleep isn't just your body going into standby mode. It's not a bug in our system, it's a critical feature. It's an active maintenance cycle where your brain finally gets to clock in and do some of its most important work. And this gives you a perfect look at what that night shift is actually doing. While you're out cold, your brain is hard at work, repairing damaged cells, sorting and filing the day's memories, and literally washing away toxic junk that builds up while you're awake. It's basically doing a full system deep clean every single night. So when you take away that nightly cleaning cycle, the whole system doesn't just slow down. It starts to break. It begins to malfunction in ways that get progressively worse and, honestly, incredibly dangerous. And look, if one brain malfunctions, that's a personal tragedy. But what happens when nearly 8 billion brains all start to glitch out at the exact same time? While the problem stops being personal and becomes societal. Now, the collapse wouldn't be instantaneous. At first, you'd see this massive boom in productivity. Everyone's working around the clock. But then, the first little mistakes would start to creep in. Your focus slips, your judgment gets cloudy, and soon, those small errors snowball into widespread catastrophic accidents, leading to a complete system failure. I mean, just imagine it. Surgeons with hands that aren't quite steady, airline pilots losing focus during a landing, truck drivers on the highway reacting just a split second too late. In so many jobs, one tiny mistake is deadly. Now multiply that risk across every single industry all at once. But the physical damage, the accidents, that's just what's happening on the outside. Those are just symptoms of a much deeper, more disturbing problem, the complete breakdown of the human mind itself. Without sleep, our ability to regulate emotions pretty much just evaporates. Anxiety and stress levels would go through the roof without that nightly reset. And eventually, the brain, starving for the dream state it needs, starts to create its own reality. You'd start to hallucinate, and the line between what's real and what's an illusion would completely dissolve. Which, brings us to maybe the most terrifying question of all. If we could somehow physically survive all this, would the creatures that were left even be, well, us? Would we still be human? Because sleep is where we dream, and dreams are so fundamental to our creativity, to our sense of self, to how we process our emotions. A life without sleep might be brutally efficient, but it would also be profoundly empty. Just a world of tireless machines walking around in human bodies. And all of this forces us to totally reframe how we think about sleep. Maybe we've been looking at it all wrong. Maybe it's not some weakness we have to overcome. When you get right down to it, sleep isn't a design flaw. It's our most basic protective mechanism. It's the biological process that keeps us sane, keeps us grounded, and ultimately keeps us human. So, if this made you think a little differently about your nightly rest, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. And we're really curious. Drop a comment below and let us know how many hours of sleep you actually managed to get. And of course, for more explainers that dig into fascinating what-if scenarios just like this one, make sure you're subscribed. Because it really leaves you with this one final thought, doesn't it? Sometimes, the very things we take for granted, the things we might even see as an inconvenience, are the very things that are, quite literally, keeping us alive.